Bruno Sammartino was born on October 6, 1935, in Pizzaferrato, Italy, in a region known for its rugged terrain. He was born into a family that had to endure hardships, especially during World War II. When he was just 4 years old, his family immigrated to the United States, settling in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The transition to life in America wasn't easy for Sammartino. They faced financial struggles, and Bruno, in particular, dealt with bullying because of his immigrant background. Overcoming such obstacles, he started working at a young age to support his family. From an early age, Sammartino showed a remarkable athleticism and strength, particularly excelling in weightlifting and wrestling. His passion for physical fitness eventually led him into the world of professional wrestling. Sammartino's first introduction to wrestling came in the 1950s, but it wasn't until 1959 that he made a serious impact in the industry when he began working for the Worldwide Wrestling Federation, WWF, later known as WWE, under the tutelage of various mentors, including the legendary Arnold Scotland. Sammartino's career took off. Sammartino's physical prowess, combined with his natural charisma and work ethic, led him to become one of the most beloved and influential wrestlers in the history of the sport. He was a true powerhouse in the ring, known for his incredible strength, and had a style that was a mixture of brute force and technical wrestling. Bruno's ability to connect with audiences was undeniable, and he quickly became a favorite among fans. His appeal was timeless, transcending various generations of wrestling fans. In 1963, Sammartino won the WWF World Heavyweight Championship in a match that would define his legacy. His reign as champion, which lasted an astonishing 2,803 days, remains the longest single title reign in professional wrestling history. This record would stand for decades, cementing Sammartino as a living legend in the sport. His reign helped elevate the WWF, as he was the promotion's cornerstone and most reliable draw during the early days of its existence. His popularity and success in the ring allowed the company to expand significantly, becoming one of the biggest wrestling promotions in the world. Throughout his career, Sammartino faced many notable challengers, including stars like Gorilla Monsoon, Stan Hansen, and even the villainous Nature Boy Ric Flair. His rivalries helped bring attention to the sport, and his matches were often the main event at sold-out arenas. Despite his success, Sammartino was known for his humility and down-to-earth demeanor, never letting his fame go to his head. In addition to his in-ring accomplishments, Sammartino was also instrumental in shaping the early culture of professional wrestling. He was a key figure in the development of the television presence of wrestling, especially during the 1970s, when the sport began to be broadcast to a national audience. His loyalty to the WWF, later known as WWE, was unwavering, even though the business would go through multiple transformations and shifts in its leadership over the years. In the 1970s, Sammartino's popularity started to peak, and by the mid-1980s, his influence began to wane as newer stars like Hulk Hogan emerged. However, he remained involved with the wrestling industry in various capacities, including as a commentator and ambassador. While he retired from active competition in 1981, Sammartino's legacy continued to loom large over the world of wrestling. Sammartino's relationship with WWE during the later years was complicated. He had a strained relationship with Vince McMahon, the chairman of the WWE, due to disagreements over how the company was being run and the direction it was taking. Sammartino was particularly vocal about his displeasure with the growing spectacle of professional wrestling, which included the increased focus on entertainment over athleticism. However, despite these differences, Sammartino was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2013, a moment that many fans felt was long overdue. After his retirement from professional wrestling, Sammartino lived a quiet life with his family. He became involved in charitable causes, working with youth programs and helping various organizations that assisted people in need. Sammartino's influence continued to be felt in the wrestling world, with many of his successors citing him as an inspiration for their own careers. Bruno Sammartino passed away on April 18, 2018, at the age of 82, leaving behind a lasting legacy in the world of professional wrestling. He is remembered not only for his unparalleled reign as a champion, but also for his contributions to the sport and his status as one of the true icons of wrestling. His name continues to be revered by fans, wrestlers, and historians alike. Even after his passing, Bruno Sammartino's impact on professional wrestling remains immeasurable. Many modern wrestlers still regard him as one of the greatest to ever step into the ring, acknowledging that his dedication to the craft and his connection with fans set a standard that they strive to meet. Sammartino's longevity in the sport, coupled with his ability to draw crowds and sell out arenas, laid the foundation for what would eventually become the global wrestling phenomenon we know today. Beyond his in-ring legacy, Sammartino's role in the evolution of professional wrestling as a mainstream entertainment form cannot be overstated. At a time when wrestling was still largely seen as a regional or niche sport, Sammartino's success helped raise its profile to new heights. His career spanned multiple eras, and he witnessed firsthand the transition from local, territory-based promotions to the global, television-driven spectacle that WWE became under Vince McMahon's leadership. Bruno's influence also extended to the wrestling world's business side. He was one of the first wrestlers to truly understand the importance of drawing and paying audiences and using his popularity to help boost promotions. This level of star power created a model for future wrestling champions to emulate. He set the template for what it meant to be a top draw, not just through in-ring ability, but by maintaining an aura of respect and credibility that endeared him to fans. In interviews throughout his life, Sammartino was always candid about his feelings toward the modern-day landscape of professional wrestling. While he had a deep respect for the athletes who followed in his footsteps, he often expressed his disappointment with the direction wrestling had taken, especially with the increasing emphasis on scripted storylines over actual wrestling technique. He remained steadfast in his belief that the athleticism and genuine competition that made wrestling compelling should be the sport's focus. Despite these criticisms, Sammartino's personal history with the sport made him an enduring figure, transcending the controversies and changes that came after his retirement. His name became synonymous with the golden age of professional wrestling, and he was often invoked by newer generations of wrestlers as the model of what it meant to be a true champion. The countless fans who grew up watching him wrestle remember him not just as a larger-than-life personality, but as a man who was always humble, disciplined, and committed to entertaining his audience. The tribute that Sammartino received from the wrestling community after his death was overwhelming. The WWE, in particular, paid homage to his legacy, and many current and former wrestlers spoke about how much they owed to the trail he blazed. Stars like Triple H, John Cena, and The Rock all acknowledged Sammartino's role in shaping the sport and shared stories of how his influence had been felt throughout their careers. The impact he made was not confined to the ring but extended to the backstage areas, where his wisdom and experiences were passed on to younger generations. In Pittsburgh, the city that had become his second home, Sammartino remained a beloved figure, known not only for his wrestling accolades, but for his philanthropy and role in his local community. He frequently made appearances to support various charitable causes, and was deeply involved in initiatives aimed at helping underprivileged youth and those struggling with health and financial challenges. Bruno Sammartino's story continues to inspire many, and his contributions to the world of professional wrestling are undeniable. His unwavering commitment to preserving the integrity of the sport, his remarkable athleticism, and his ability to connect with fans on a deeply personal level are what set him apart as one of the true legends in the history of wrestling. Though his time in the ring has long passed, Bruno Sammartino remains an enduring symbol of what it means to be a champion, both inside and outside of the squared circle. His legacy lives on through the generations of wrestlers and fans who continue to celebrate the impact he had on the world of professional wrestling. Bruno Sammartino's legacy has endured not only through his countless records and monumental achievements in the wrestling world, but also through the enduring respect he garnered from his peers. His influence continues to resonate, as he was one of the few wrestlers whose contributions went beyond the ring and permeated the very fabric of professional wrestling. Wrestlers, promoters, and fans alike still hold him in the highest regard, with many acknowledging him as one of the cornerstones that the modern wrestling industry is built upon. As a trailblazer in the 1960s and 1970s, Sammartino's work ethic and dedication to his craft set a standard for future generations. His immense popularity helped elevate professional wrestling into a legitimate form of entertainment that went from regional arenas to television broadcasts and, eventually, global recognition. Sammartino's success played a pivotal role in establishing the New York-based promotion that would eventually become the worldwide phenomenon that is WWE. One of the key aspects that continues to set Sammartino apart is his remarkable connection with fans. He was a true embodiment of the working-class hero, someone who worked tirelessly and remained grounded throughout his entire career. Fans could relate to his humble beginnings and admired his perseverance in the face of adversity. The respect Sammartino commanded wasn't just for his wrestling skills. It was for his character, integrity, and his unwavering commitment to representing something greater than himself in the world of professional wrestling. While Sammartino's popularity helped WWE become a global leader in sports entertainment, it also shaped the way wrestling promotions would cultivate and protect their top stars. His influence as a role model was evident when Vince McMahon, despite their personal disagreements, later acknowledged Sammartino as one of the most important figures in the company's history. The 2013 WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony, which honored Sammartino, was a pivotal moment that represented a full-circle recognition of his legacy. The standing ovation he received that night was a fitting tribute to a man who had been absent from WWE television for decades, but remained deeply respected by fans and wrestlers alike. Bruno Sammartino's journey from a young immigrant facing hardship to the most dominant and beloved champion in the history of professional wrestling is a testament to his strength, resilience, and unwavering passion. His legacy continues to live on, not just through the history books, but through the ethos of professional wrestling itself. Even today, aspiring wrestlers look to Sammartino's career as a blueprint for what it means to be a true champion, both in and out of the ring. In his passing, Sammartino left behind more than just records and accolades. He left behind a lasting imprint on the sport he loved. Generations of fans and wrestlers will continue to remember the man who not only defined an era, but whose spirit and contributions transcended time, ensuring his place as one of the greatest icons in the history of professional wrestling.